You're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Air Force League of Legends Esports League of Legends tournament. Today we have Maxwell versus Dias. This is kind of a game a lot of people have been looking at. I know Dias was number one prior to the season beginning, but Maxwell's kind of been showing it up.
Yeah, definitely looks like we're going to be having a really good set of games here. We'll see how this series goes, and then after this, we'll see Whiteman versus whoever loses here.
Absolutely, yeah. And sorry for not introducing you. I got my co-caster today is Citro.
Yep, that's right. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to streaming or casting these games here. Looks like first ban's coming up. Who do you expect Max will be banning here?
I know there's been a lot of kind of targeted bans. We've seen a lot of Garen bans. I've seen quite a few Ash bans. One of the bans going over.
There's the rec side. We definitely expected that. Poo Poo
Yeah,
Gobbler with a lot of rec side plays, and so no surprises there. Then it comes in a Zed ban, really strong mid laner, a lot of damage. No surprises there.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. One of the things I've seen a lot of play from Dias is the Samir, and also the Yumi has gotten a pretty decent amount of play and shown uh, a lot of strength on their side. So one of those champions might be something that they'd be interested in banning out.
That's right. Another thing too, you could see Dias's support is Seraphine is the name in there, so we'll see if they try to stick true to that naming, and we'll see if Seraphine in this game or not. There goes Evelyn and Yasuo bans, power picks, a lot of AD, a lot of AP with Evelyn.
Absolutely, yeah. And Evelyn, and I always kind of speak praises of Evelyn. A really good Evelyn just puts so much pressure on the map at all times because you're not really sure where she's at. You're not sure if she's invading. You're not sure if she's ganking. And it forces a lot of those pink wards to be bought out, which are pretty easily cleared out. And then again, once the pink ward is cleared, it kind of applies that pressure back to the lane. So it's Evelyn's an incredible ban here.
Certainly. Then we got the Caitlyn ban, just a tremendous laner, a lot of pressure the entire game, and skills decently well, not as much as some of the other champions, but a good ban from Dias.
Absolutely. And got Manadel hovering Lucian here. Very
Lucian's a great
versatile
pick.
champion.
Can be that's right,
Uh,
just like you said, can be flexed to any role, more or less. Aside from really jungle, top pick is fine, mid pick, ADC, of course, that's where he's originally from. We'll see if they lock it in, and they do.
Absolutely. So one of the things with picking Lucian early, though, is you kind of can play around that, building kind of a tankier team or maybe assassins. It's really easy whenever you already know that a Lucian is going to be picked that early into the team comp to kind of avoid any of the double AD that might happen.
That's right. Then there's a Samira pick there on the side of Dias. A ton of damage from there. She's been hit with nerf after nerf, but even still, she's a tremendous pick in solo queue, and of course, as we're seeing with some of the games that have happened previously here, in these 5v5s.
Absolutely, yeah. Samira is. I really like her play style. That rain is and then very aggressive, rewarding play style for going in, which is something that I think Eccentric is kind of known for. He's very aggressive. Oftentimes, he finds himself kind of deep in the enemy lines, and so Samir kind of rewards that, to be honest, and gives her that extra little bit of damage for going in too deep.
So they're hovering the Pantheon pick now, and if they do, that's a ton of AD on the side of Maxwell. They're probably going to be needing some AP, and they do lock it in. They're going to have a tremendous early game presence just from the get go. They're going to be dealing a ton of damage.
And I mean, this kind of team comp has been working a lot for Maxwell this whole entire season.
That's
They've
right.
gone a lot of this really heavy AD, a lot of this like early game engage, and it's worked out really well for him. I know Dice has been putting in a lot of practice, and this is the first time that they've kind of come together since the official kind of season. So I do think they need to be a little more cautious, as Dice is one of the stronger teams coming here towards the end of the season. So they definitely need to watch out.
Certainly, both teams are just absolutely just clean, tight gameplay, and they're able to just lock down even on the most small of mistakes that happen. So, definitely looking forward to a good game here. I think that Maxwell's game plan maybe looks to be shut the game down right at 20 minutes and get as much of a lead as they can and snowball immediately. Whereas Dias's team does not seem to necessarily be a scaling or a early game, but they do kind of well throughout the entire game by the looks of it so far.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where this Lux is going to be going. I'm not sure how familiar Asian Flipside is on Lux. And I wouldn't really like to see a Lux picked into a Lucian just due to the sheer amount of damage that Lucian can do in the early game and the low health pool of Lux.
Mhm.
So he might find himself in trouble if that is a Lux in the mid. As a support, it could fare pretty well, depending on, of course, what the bottom lane's looking. I know I've seen some Pantheon supports in the past, and those are all obviously pretty strong. And then, of course, a Malphite ban. That's a pretty good ban for a team that's already got 3 ADs stacked up, with possibly more to come. Malphite being one of the tankier kind of top laners able to sustain a lot of AD from his armor. Rammus being the other. So I mean, looking at, I mean, this is going to be a best of three today. So if they do notice that they are building AD comps, Rammus or Malphite might be something that they can look to possibly swing into their team.
Certainly, yeah. Ramis definitely can shut down a lot of AD. He does need a little bit of time to get going, but looks like no Ramis pick, of course. Here they already picked their jungler. With the Malphite ban, like you said, definitely good against this full AD team. They picked Jin. They're just doubling down as much AD as they can get. We'll see what they pick for their last pick here. Shyvana, okay, got the AP balancing out a little bit.
Yeah, and Shyvana's pretty good. She can build either tanky, which this team is kind of lacking right now. They have a lot of DPS, or she can build that AP kind of DPS that they might need here. She's pretty good at both the mage and the tank roles, and it does look like it's going to be a Lux mid. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. Lux being one of the champions that doesn't really have any type of escape mechanisms. She doesn't land that snare. She's going to get Lucian's just going to be able to stick straight on her. But I do like that Nami pick in the bottom lane. That works really well with Samir and her ability to kind of extend knockups. And Nami obviously being able to use that with her ultimate as well as her bubble.
Definitely. Nami is one of my most favorite picks in the support role. They've got the CC ability, they've got the ability to heal, and one of the best ultimates in the game. When it comes to 5v5 team fights, Nami really is second to none when it comes to her ultimate.
Absolutely, yeah. That tidal wave is so massive, and it applies that knock up, so like a semi stun interrupt, and then that slow, which really kind of disrupts the way that people kind of
Mhm.
position in and out of a team fight. And with a team like Darius, Lucian, and Jin, they want to kind of stay at a distance. They want to kind of position themselves better. That way, they're not getting dove on by this Aatrox and Hecarim. So yeah, that Nami ult is going to be very crucial, depending on who she gets to hit in these team fights.
Based solely on the team compositions alone, what do you think? Maybe what team do you think has the edge in this game so far?
Uh, I'm definitely giving the early game over to Maxwell. If Dice can hang in there, which I know they've been known to do, they have very strong gameplay. I think Dice is going to come into this game a little bit later and scale better because they can build some of that armor as they're going against a 4 AD team comp. And this is one of the times that you even see like an AD building like an early GA to kind of get that additional armor on her as well.
Certainly, like you said too, early game for sure. I think Maxwell has it down. I think that should there be a time where they're 5v5 team fighting, Dice has really got that unlocked. They have a ton of CC. They have a ton of damage with it too. If that Hecarim can engage, use his ultimate, fear the team, and then follow up with a Nami ult or even a bubble, 2-man, 3-man bubble, it's looking really, really good for Dice there. We'll see how it is. We got the 1 minute 38-second spectator delay, but definitely looking forward to this game here too. Do you see any invades coming into this game, or do you think they're going to try to feel it out a little bit and then play it a little
I
safer?
would love to see an invade. Obviously, Dice always attempting one, but most of the teams usually scout it out, kind of put wards in the river.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't been seeing too many as the game kind of goes on. I think like the first three weeks we saw Dice kind of getting some invades off, but I think teams have kind of learned their lesson that it's just typically more beneficial not to throw the game in the early phases. Whereas if you can just kind of ward out and do kind of basically meta, right? Like you're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
do that 50-50 with an invade.
Definitely, and I think it's probably in Dice's best interest not to invade. Kind of like you're saying, playing a little bit safer. When you got picks like Darius and Lucian, and really all the champions, especially Darius, he's just one of those champs where if he gets 1 kill, 2 kills before 5 minutes, before we really get into the mid game, he's just going to snowball out of control, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, yeah. So I would say that if there is an invade, Dice has a very strong invade with the Nami typically taking the bubble early, and then if Lux takes
Snare as
her
well.
snare,
Mm-hmm.
it can lock down a single target long enough that all of Dice has the ability to kind of shut them down.
Well, it looks like we got about 5 seconds left, and then we'll see what they decide to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm expecting really good games today. First one, of course, being Maxwell Dias, and then the loser of this best of three is going to go on to play Whiteman, I believe.
That's
Um,
right. Yep, they'll be playing Whiteman, another great team. They've been playing really, really well and have been practicing a whole bunch. They're another force to be reckoned with. Very excited to get them to see what they have to bring after this series.
Absolutely, yeah. It's these teams, like I said, they've been putting in a lot of work. I know. I think our first team that fell this season was Tinker, and even then, you could see it if you watch the sign of the VODs that from this game, the growth that they kind of put in, the communication that they started to have. Tinker is probably the most improved team that I've seen this season, and it was really impressive watching their last game.
Definitely. I think that all the teams really, once they got near the end of the season, were just putting in a ton of practice and just really showing their true colors, their ability to play the game. Looks like Dice is coming in through the mid lane looking for early invade. They got vision from Banga, the mid laner, and looks like they're still going to press. Nami up front misses the
Oh,
bubble.
and that's exactly what we're talking about. That Nami bubble was crucial to that engage there.
It's good they're
And
not pressing their luck either. They missed the bubble, they understood that, and they decided to back it off. No need to push their luck. Looks like Darius going up into the topside jungle, maybe trying to sneak out something if Hecarim comes to the topside jungle.
Absolutely, yeah. And Darius being one of the stronger 1v1s at level 1. Uh, doesn't look like they're actually going to do it. I guess they might have been hoping that Aatrox was checking the camps, but he didn't get too close. Just kind of swung by.
That would have been a death sentence for sure. If he had come anywhere near that bush, that Darius, I'm sure he would have probably started, I believe, his hook in there, and it would have been first blood right then and there. But fortunately, he took the safer route and went up to his tower, and no first bloods yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like just a traditional start after those invades kind of got pushed away. One thing that I haven't seen too much from any team really are some of like those early game buff trades. Like when you kind of notice the 5-man invade going into a buff, a lot of times the team will just opt to trade instead of fight it out. Most of the time in this season, I've seen a lot of people just typically kind of back off after an invade gets spotted out.
Yeah, I think with this coordination with the teams, they maybe in solo queue you'd see these players. They'd say, okay, we got an invade going on. Maybe we want to counteract this and go to the other side, just because the vision control might not be as good. However, here, both teams know they've got vision all over the map at all points of the game. So it's usually in their best interest to try to stay away from any late invade.
And you see in this mid lane, Lux almost going down, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Lucian, even after taking a couple tower shots there, still winning that trade.
That's right. Immediate pressure. Lux is under her tower just 2 minutes into the game. And let's see, what's the CS difference here? Nothing too crazy so far. Looks like Maxwell's got a little bit of an edge on some of them, but they just caught up anyways. Nothing too crazy, but the pressure is definitely there from the get-go. Looks like all lanes are pushed up. All lanes on Maxwell. Oh, there's the first blood there, Pantheon.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That first blood going down to Pantheon. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Eccentric overextended there. Unfortunately, that early level Samir is not as strong as the late game. Just kind of got caught out by that Pantheon stun and then locked down by that Jhin. Ended up costing him his life.
Well, I'm loving to see that the bot lane is immediately taking the time once they pushed up the wave to go mid lane, get the Rift Scuttler. Just not even a second's hesitation. That's some team coordination right there that you don't really see in all the teams. I mean, many times they'd either just wait for the next wave or something of that nature. But getting the objective, Scuttle Crab, very important for junglers. A lot of experience, a lot of mana and health regeneration.
Absolutely. These two teams being pretty knowledgeable on kind of the game basis, understand that the XP and gold from that Scuttle Crab is really crucial for keeping your jungler ahead and really important for those later game ganks.
Ooh, looks like Hecarim and Shyvana are both on the bot side. Oh, looks like Hecarim goes back. Got a fight going on in the bot lane.
Yeah, again, you got to respect that Pantheon. Once he gets that that stack up, that stun is so strong. And especially with that Pantheon Jhin combo, being able to lock him down in place for so long. You've just seen that damage. Luckily, they will be able to sustain it. Nami, of course, being a champion capable of healing, whereas opting to go with like a Thresh or Nautilus, you don't have that ability. So they will be able to kind of skirt around some of this extra aggressive play that Eccentric's
Ooh, looks like Hecarim's coming in for a gank in the mid lane. Nope. He's unfortunately there's some vision control, or nope, no ward. He just knew to play on the bot side of the mid lane. Nothing going on there.
Absolutely. It does look like he's headed to the
side.
top lane though. His Darius might be a little overextended right now with no river ward.
Oh, that's going to be a kill. Goes on to Aatrox, very good. He can also do a lot of snowballing once he gets those kills. Good to see that.
Yeah, this is one of those champions. Those are two of my most hated champions, to be honest. Is Hecarim and Rammus, just because of how fast they are. Even through wards, they get there so quick that by the time you notice it, it's already too late.
Looks like Maxwell's going to get the dragon here and just absolutely melted the dragon. Shyvana dealing extra damage to the dragons. Just, I'm looking to see probably Maxwell getting every dragon here if they can keep up the pressure like they have. They already have a 1k gold lead at 6 minutes into the game. And with that additional damage to dragon, Shyvana's a really good pick here.
Absolutely, yeah. That's Shyvana was a really good, like you said. I mean, it was a full AD comp. Shyvana coming in, providing that AP that they needed, and then of course being just an incredible jungler. And one of the things that I will say, Maxwell is so good with their rotations and neutral objectives like that. One of the things that Dias absolutely needs to be weary of is how they're rotating and whether or not they're taking those dragons and taking the Rift Herald, because this entire season Maxwell has been so good at the timing on those things.
Well, you can really see some really smart jungling here, some vertical jungling by the Hecarim, going into Maxwell's side, getting the Grump. Shyvana doing the same thing with the blue buff. Looks like it's a little bit better for Maxwell here, but both junglers understanding the vision dynamic, where they have vision, where they don't, where the enemy jungler is. Just a lot of expert plays there.
Absolutely. I always respect really good junglers when they can like ping the shadows and know just where they're at. I've never been that good at jungling, but it always amazes me.
Looks we got a fight in the top lane, got the ultimate going down, a couple of stacks, and there we go, Darius just doing so much damage just from the get-go. You really cannot fight a Darius, let alone an experienced Darius like we have Menado here. Just doing so much damage. 1k gold lead again still with the dragon buff. Looking like Maxwell is going to be taking the advantage here.
Absolutely, yeah. Darius being one of the champions that loves extended trades. He will take those any day of the week, especially whenever he gets to stack those 5 blood stacks along with his rune that he takes. It's just really impressive the amount of damage that Darius can dish out whenever you try to take those extended trades.
Ooh, just narrowly misses the bubble in the bot lane. Oh, flash, stun, barely escapes Eccentric with next to no health. There goes the ultimate.
Yeah, and he's stuck right in the middle of that. He's not going to be able to escape. This might be a double kill, and there it is.
Well, bringing up that gold lead even more so. They're looking to almost a 2k gold lead now. Just never letting the enemy breathe here on the side of Maxwell. But we have a gank coming in again at the top side. And nope, it looks like he is going to go into the bush. And nothing happens there. Very safe play top side, especially after you get killed. You want to play safe. You want to keep farming up. At least try to get the cannon minions when you can. Try to get the experience.
Absolutely, yeah. And so this bottom lane is definitely going over to Maxwell right now. Eccentric needs to be careful. Try to play a little bit more safe. Keeps going in well beyond his minions. And that double snare stun combo is just absolutely eating him alive right now. Here goes Aatrox trying to take those trades. That almost looked like a ghost, but it can't be.
Wow, absolutely tremendous. Just like we were talking about in Champ Select, Darius is one of those champions where he gets just one kill. If you slip up one time, you're going to expect to have to deal with him just pressuring you the entire rest of the game, snowballing completely out of control. Once he gets these plates here, potentially even the tower here in a few minutes, goes mid lane, it's just going to be really, really hard to deal with Darius. Ooh, but we got a fight going on in the mid lane. Is she able to do damage under the tower? Looks like Lucian has no mana, not able to dash, so if she can do damage, and there we go. Looks like the kill goes down to Darius.
Yeah, meanwhile in that bot lane, we've got a lot going on. We have Pantheon barely escaping with his life after that gank. But Shyvana coming in for that counter gank. Ended up picking up a double kill there. And again, the amount of minions that they're going to lose out here. This is a big wave for Maxwell. They're going to be able to pick that up after taking out both the support and the ADC down there in the bot lane. And you see Lux running for a life against this Pantheon. That is not a good place to back. You know Pantheon is still coming.
Yep, and that's going to be it. Oh, no, got the snare.
You ended up getting that snare off, and you have Aatrox following up. That's good team communication there.
Well, almost got out. Very good snare there. That was almost a death sentence. Eventually they did get the kill, but a good play on the side of Darius there.
Yeah, Darius coming in trying to get that damage off.
Yeah, absolutely not afraid. Absolutely not afraid to go under the tower, deal damage, and there's not really much Aatrox can do about that.
Absolutely, yeah. Darius has already kind of shown his strength. Aatrox definitely has to be careful because he already knows that he can be one-shot by this Darius.
Darius does get the dragon, that is good, especially when they're looking for a team fight, maybe a little bit more scaling composition. That's really, really important dragon to get, and looks like it's going to be Ocean Soul for the rest of the game. I think this maybe favors Darius a little bit, as opposed to getting Cloud Drake for the ultimate. But we'll see who this controls. Pantheon jumping onto Nami. Getting the kill. Hecarim going in for the gank on the bot side, and it looks like he will get the... No, maybe not, won't get the kill. Almost. Good executed gank, but there was just there was too many people there, and they were able to do more damage to him right at the last minute, and they snared him. So we're looking at the game now. It looks like a 4.5K gold lead. What do you think Darius needs to do to maybe try to get themselves back in the game?
I think they're very far behind right now. Again, I kind of said this about 2-3 kills ago. That bot lane needs to respect the combo, that Jhin and Pantheon combo down in the bot lane.
Definitely. Pantheon being able to just lock down a champion and then do an immense amount of damage. He did get nerfed earlier in this, I think either this patch or the previous patch, but he's still just an immense power in the bot lane. And you do have to respect that pick, like you were saying.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Hecarim is still a very key component to this game. I think if they're wanting to come back in, I think Hecarim needs to kind of focus on another lane. That bot lane, I don't want to say that it's lost, and I hate whenever people try to say that, you know, don't focus on the lane that's already lost. Because there's still going to be opportunities where Hecarim can come in and secure a kill or a double kill on that bot lane. Especially you've got Pantheon kind of roaming around now, Jin's by himself. But Hecarim is gonna absolutely need to come in and support some of these lanes to try to get some of these people back into the game again.
Definitely. There's the typical jungle advice where they say if you have a lane who's maybe losing a little bit, it's best to try to focus on the lanes that are winning so you can snowball them a bit more. Looks like there's going to be a fight in the river. There's Hecarim, Aatrox, and they're going to push them back into there. They've got a bunch of rotations going on inside of Maxwell, and it's not a fight Dice is willing to take.
Absolutely. This is kind of one of the woes of being a jungler. Whenever your lanes are losing, you start to see the other lanes kind of roaming into your jungle freely.
Lucian
because they
brings
know
down the
that.
ultimate. And is he going to get the Aatrox? No, maybe not. There's the Pantheon. He's going to sweep in and get the Aatrox that gets the kill. Darius trying to get the Lux, isn't able to do it. She's just out of range. And another kill goes down for Team Maxwell.
Absolutely, yeah. It is slowly starting to look grim. I mean, we're not too far behind for Dias at this point. We're 15 minutes in. They're sitting about 5,000 gold behind. This is definitely a game to come back, right? Put in plenty of comeback mechanics for this to occur. They've got a shutdown on Darius worth 500. So I mean, if they can get up there and kind of take him down, that'll definitely be beneficial to him.
Definitely. We are looking at a 5K gold lead. 6K, it looks about 6K now. It's looking really, really tough. I think the only way Dice gets back at this point is if they catch out an enemy out of place and they're able to get very small incremental gold back slowly and slowly, and then eventually turn the game around. They do have the composition for it. They do have the team fight pick. It's going to be tough, though. It's certainly going to be tough. It's a huge gold lead at about 15 minutes into the game. We'll see. Let's see how tenacious they are and if they're able to carry their ways through to the later in the game.
Absolutely, and this is one of the things we talked about in Champ Select. We could say Maxwell had. There's a fight
Another
breaking
going
out.
in the bot lane. Hecarim is going to go down. It looks like they're just taking a lot of fights here where they just maybe shouldn't be fighting. I think that they need to be looking for picks, not so much team fights. But it is tough. Maxwell has an outstanding communication and rotation ability. It's really tough to catch them off guard.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very good. I mean, 4 members down in the bot lane there against the 3, kind of that counter gank. I do believe Dias was a little overextended there, as you could see. They had no tower to fall back on. Sorry, not no power.
Looks like the Orphan Dragon is going to come up here. Shyvana being able to just do, like we were talking about earlier, shred the dragon down. I don't think, unless Lux can get a good ult on, it's going to go straight to Maxwell. And that's another thing, too. With these early game comps, although they do fall off maybe a little bit later into the game, when you do get all these objectives, you're really making the margins even tighter and tighter for the opposing team to come back. When you have these team fight compositions, you need the objectives to really close that gap a little bit in your favor.
Absolutely, yeah. So this early game team comp, Maxwell's playing it really well. Like you said, they're taking these objectives, they're getting the towers, and they're really snowballing this advantage into the game. Shyvana is going to end up getting caught out there and going down.
Yep, and at this point here, we're looking at almost a 10K gold lead. This is looking really, really grim. I think, if I was on Team Maxwell right now, I would be trying to, after they're done taking some of the jungle camps from Dias, maybe get the Rift Herald and try to get a central push down the mid lane or maybe the top lane, because it looks like the tower, both tier towers are gone now.
Absolutely, yeah. This looks to be the point in the game where, yeah, you would just try to push down, like you said, support the Rift Herald down the mid lane. Because I mean, they already had the early game advantage. They're kind of stopping Dias quick in their tracks. They're trying to prevent them from scaling into the late game.
Another fight going on in the top lane. Looks like he's going to try to go for it. Nope, he does back off a little bit. He maybe was able to kill him if he did have the ultimate, but he was a safe play. Oh, there comes Hecarim going in for the kill. Maybe he's going to get it. Flashes out of the range of the...
Hey, see, he's about to get that 5th stack, and his ultimate's going to come down. Ooh,
and they do eventually get him. It takes a whole team. He's the final raid boss there, but they do get the kill. Lux doing a lot of damage.
Ooh, that Lux, very vital in that. Darius did have his ultimate on hand, just one button press away from getting that reset on Hecarim. Would have quickly annihilated Nami. But Lux, obviously being aware of the map, was able to come in and support that.
Another fight going in the jungle, and just more and more kills. They're just not even able to get their jungle camps. Is a little bit of a tough look for Dias.
Absolutely, yeah. Shyvana basically just 1-2ing Lux. She wasn't able to get away. Just so much damage coming out from that Shyvana. We just saw Darius. It took 3 members to kind of take down Darius. He almost secured a kill with his ultimate, which he would have snowballed into another kill in support.
Looks like they do take the Rift Herald like we were talking about earlier, right before the Baron spawns. They have the timing down to the T. Really good play on the side of Maxwell.
Yeah, both these teams are very strong, but of course Maxwell coming in with that early game, just rolling into Dias, utilizing their team comp just a little bit better, making the game a lot easier for him here in the mid and late game.
We can see Darius is kind of looking for maybe like a flash pick or something. He does not have flash up. I'm not really sure what he's doing there. Maybe he's trying to catch them out off guard here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, possibly pull them over a wall. I mean, he's going for those clips at this point.
Looking for the emote spam, doing a little of the dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how confident they are. They have such a lead, an immense lead, 11K gold lead at this point that they're comfortable with trying to make plays here.
Absolutely, and at this point, Maxwell's just looking for fodder for their highlight reels.
And Aatrox can be safe. Looks like they've got enough death on their team there. And nope, not able to get out. You got the Jim ult coming down, trying to get that kill off on Nami, just narrowly misses it.
Yeah, I do like the Lux pick against that Jhin. That is one of the things I always find really funny when Jhin locks himself in position. Lux is able to typically just ult right onto him.
One of the things that we were seeing that was a surprise to me is we were talking about the Lucian being a lot of pressure onto the Lux, but their mid laner on the side of Dias was doing a really good job. Actually, was winning in lane there too. So we might end up seeing that that pick in the next game as well. Mid laner really showing out there.
Absolutely, yeah. The Lux is absolutely putting in a lot of work. We did see nearly went down to that early game pressure that we were kind of talking about. Lux only has one ability to kind of keep her safe, and if she misses that snare, Lucian just jumps right on her. But she was able to get away. I think that would have snowballed a little bit better for that Lucian had that happen. And Lucian not really needing to roam a whole lot in this game due to the fact that a lot of his lanes are kind of already winning. He can just keep up the pressure in the mid lane there, while the rest of the map is kind of taking care of itself.
Another fight going in the Dias jungle. And they secure a couple more kills. Looks like Pantheon's going down.
And see the Shyvana just jumping right into 3 members of Dias, eliminating that Nami, and then Jhin following up for those for the rest of the kills.
There's the ace, and looks like this is going to be a win for Maxwell. If anything, what do you think Dias can do for the next game here? I would say maybe they can try to go from some of those early game picks, try to contest these picks, or maybe try to ban out the Darius or the Lucian, a lot of where their damage is coming from.
Yeah, I think that is a possibility. I'm not too sure how familiar Blades is with the Aatrox up there in the top lane. Banning out of Darius is a must to me. I believe the Darius ban needs to take place just because of how oppressive Darius can be in that lane against essentially every single champion that can be played. I know I've seen some decent Orns go up against the Darius, but for the most part, Darius typically secures the lane single-handedly.
Definitely. Just a overall showing of just oppressive gameplay. They were really just from the get-go, did not give Dice any room to breathe. Just great play on the side of Maxwell here. I definitely think maybe they can ban the Darius. Maybe they can get a counter pick. I don't know too many picks. Maybe a Vayne or range champion, a Quinn, perhaps, to kind of counter that. But it certainly is a tough pick to play against.
Yeah, 100%. So they will be switching sides this time, so we will get to see first pick going over to Dias. I'd like to see kind of what they're planning on picking there. Again, I want to see a Darius ban just because of how powerful that Darius really is in that lane. Um, in the top lanes, I'm not. I wish I was a little more familiar with the kind of the top lane picks here. I like Wukong's. Orns are really strong, and then of course we've seen Mordekaiser being played from Dias quite a bit. We've actually seen Mordekaiser played across the board from a lot of these teams. Also being another very strong pick. I
That's
think
right.
for the most part they kind of got the rest of their picks. We've got the Hecarim that Rek'Sai is of course probably going to be banned out. They've got the Samira. They got the Nami. I know Asian Flipside really likes to play Yasuo. I'm not sure if they could try to swing a Yasuo in there. And Syndra being one of the stronger picks, Syndra and Oriana that I've seen on Asian Flipside. So maybe bringing that out to kind of help their team along.
Certainly, Asian Flipside had a great game, great laning this time. Any of the picks that he'll be picking here, I'm definitely very confident in. I think if he does get that Syndra, he does get that Oriana, it just makes their team fight presence so much more. Um, However, with the other lanes too, I'm trying to think maybe they can get something more aggressive. Maybe instead of the Samir who needs a little bit of time, she did get nerfed with her base armor and base AD. Maybe somebody who's got that oppressive damage in the early game. I know they did ban Caitlyn. Maybe they won't do it here again. We'll see. I don't know all the ADCs and Eccentric's repertoire, but perhaps we'll be seeing something else from the bot lane here.
Yeah, one of the things that I've kind of seen Eccentric step away from, the name literally just slipped my head. It was the ADC that used to be played kind of as a support as well. Used to be one of his favorite, holding the laser rifle.
Oh, Senna.
Senna, absolutely, yeah. So he used to be a Senna main, and you'd see him pull him out. He did incredible work with Senna. I'm not sure why they kind of stepped off. But I mean, even if he kind of goes back to that comfort pick and brings the Senna out, because I know he does extremely well with that.
Yeah, certainly. I like.
All right, and while we get these teams going up, we're going to go ahead and go into a quick break here. Stick around. We're definitely looking forward to game two out of this best of three. Let's see if Dias can maybe bring it back and give us a game three. Otherwise, maybe if they can fend off this Maxwell oppression, we'll see what we got. All right, welcome back, everybody. That was a crazy game that we just saw in that first match there. Maxwell basically just doing a clean sweep against Dias. Uh, Dias couldn't fend off the attacks. Maxwell doing a lot of really good rotations there. What do you think we're going to look for in this next game here, Citro?
I'm thinking that Dias is going to be coming out with some more aggressive early game champions. They really need to something to contest Maxwell's style because I really don't think if I'm Maxwell, I'm not changing anything about how we're playing. We did a really good showing on this previous game. They need to keep up the steam and just push, push, push more. So I think Dias really needs to shift their gameplay a little bit to the early game and then work from there.
Absolutely. What do you think Dias could do to maybe counter that early game pressure that Maxwell was putting on?
So I would say a lot of it does have to revolve around the bot lane a little bit. With the picks, I think that they have good picks overall. And while I'm not an ADC, I'm not a support main. I would say maybe just try to get more damage instead of a Nami. Maybe pick someone who can lock down champions just like Pantheon can. Maybe a Leona, maybe a Nautilus, something of that sort might be beneficial.
Absolutely. I would love to see a Leona. Leona is one of the supports that anytime I get kind of picked into the support role or whatever auto filled, Leona is the one that I like to kind of go to. She's so tanky. She can go in, even just by herself, getting so much damage and stuns and then just walking out. Even with a kind of an ADC that's not following your lead, the damage still kind of comes out and you still get to get out and kind of win a lot of those trades.
That's right. And we can see here Dias immediately banning Pantheon, immediately banning Evelyn, just trying to get all of this pressure off. Anything that they can kind of alleviate while they're here, they're trying to get rid of it here. And Darius as well. They don't want to see anything from the previous game here at all. Maybe that can work in
Absolutely.
their favor here.
I like these bands a lot. I mean, going at the end of that game there, I was saying I wanted to see a Darius band. That's something that happens. It has to happen. Darius is just so strong. It's so hard unless you have so much experience against Darius to be able to kind of shut him down in the top lane and win your lane. It's something that should be banned out. And I do like that Pantheon build because I know Dias likes to win the bot lane. That's kind of one of their key components, and getting rid of that Pantheon is going to be really good.
Definitely. Got a Caitlyn ban. That's one of the things that we were talking about at the end of the last game. Maybe they can play Caitlyn, try to get a more aggressive bot lane, but Maxwell's not having any of that. They're trying to get that out of the way, not letting them have any room in early game. I'm not sure what Eccentric's champion pool is. Maybe they can pull out something else. Maybe they can get a double AD bot lane with the Senna as well as maybe another aggressive AD.
Absolutely, and Dias is picking out the Lucian. They're not going to allow Maxwell to have that, but now you're going to see, and this is kind of the way the tournament picks go. They're not going to be able to ban out that Kha'Zix, so Maxwell's going to pick up that Kha'Zix, which is a crazy strong jungler.
Wow, a
In the
Gragas
board.
pick. Definitely have not. I don't think we've seen a Gragas in this series yet. Definitely a lot of CC with Gragas and a lot of damage, kind of balancing out their damage a little bit. AD and AP, Lucian and Misfortune. They're looking to do a little bit more damage this time around, and I'm liking it on the side of guys.
Absolutely. Where do you feel that Gragas is going to go? Do you think this is a top lane Gragas, or are we going to see him in the jungle?
Most of the time, I do see Gragas in the jungle, although he could be top lane. He's a really good flex pick in just about any role. One of the things he may not be the most meta champion right now, but in the hands of an experienced player, he can really do a lot of good CC and damage.
Absolutely, and I do applaud a lot of people that kind of pick these unfamiliar picks. One, of course, because your enemy hasn't really played against them, they might not be too familiar with the damage outputs, so they take some unfavorable trades. And Gragas is one of those champions. He's always been there. He does a lot of damage when you see him in an ARAM. But yeah, you don't typically see him in the current meta right now.
So the Darius, and then following up with the Mordekaiser ban because they did not pick the top laner in this rotation. I like that it kind of banned out the top side. Just like Darius is an oppressive top laner, Mordekaiser is that maybe to a lesser extent, and he does AP damage as well. So definitely liking that
Absolutely.
ban.
Yeah, I do feel Mordekaiser can be shut down in the top lane a little bit better. He does have a kind of a safe laning phase if you play around him enough. But yeah, rolling into the late game, which is what Mordekaiser loves to do. He's so strong. He gets so powerful, and he's able to shut down champions.
So we've got a Morgana, we've got a Nautilus, and a Leona ban. So there's not going to be quite as much lockdown as you might see in a normal game here. These are really strong picks that they're getting out of the game. I'm excited to see what they're going to end up picking in the support role. Brand, okay. Brand maybe picked here. They're hovering it. Nope, looks like it's going to be set. Another really good support champion.
And here it is again, Maxwell favoring those AD champions. I do feel that they can work around this a little bit better with that Gragas. Obviously, is a capable building tanky. Misfortune and Lucian can eliminate a lot of these assassin style champions that they have. This Kha'Zix, this Zed,
And they
and of
do pick
course,
the Malphite.
woo, I
Excellent
did.
pick.
I love this Malphite pick. This was banned out in that last round. But yeah, Malphite being one of the very strong counters against AD team comps.
Certainly.
Shyvana is still available here, but they do have the Kha'Zix, so I'm not sure what their AP is going to be.
So Set's one of those picks too. They can be flexed to the top side or top lane or to the support role. We'll see who they end up picking. And there's the Ornn. So Set is going to be the support, and the Ornn is going to be in the top lane.
All right, and the Seraphine. This will actually be my first Seraphine game, believe it or not. So I'm not very familiar with Seraphine, so I'm going to rely on you for this, for casting the Seraphine.
Certainly, Seraphine, as you can even see too in the support's name, Seraphine, picking Seraphine. I have a feeling that they might be a little bit more comfortable with this pick than their previous one. Plus, Seraphine being a new champion that just got released, of course, she's going to be really strong. And I think if there's a lot of practice from their support, it's going to be a very, really powerful pick.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, I always like this choose your loadout countdown, and then we get obviously presented with a 3-minute clock.
So looking at the Maxwell team here, they do have some early game picks. They have the Kha'Zix, they have the Zed, just a ton of damage early on. Surprisingly, though, a lot of people think Ornn is a just straight tank. He gets really massive and you can't kill him. But in the early game, his base damage values are really, really high. I'm excited to see what he does against this Malphite and if he's able to deal a lot of damage early on. And if I'm not mistaken, he does magic damage, which, for the purposes of laning against Malphite, his resistance to his Malphites might not be as helpful here as it would be against another champion.
Absolutely, yeah. This Ornn does deal magic damage. I believe it's a percentage-based HP as well, with his brittle attacks. So I am expecting to see more of kind of a passive farming lane up in the top lane. Both these being melee, so neither one kind of has that advantage against the other, and both capable of kind of making trades against one another. I will expect to see. I want to see how they utilize teleports, which I'm assuming they're both going to be taking. This is what's going to be really critical in this game, whether or not Malphite can get a really nice teleport down to the bot lane or the mid lane, utilizing his crazy powerful ultimate and securing possibly double kills down in the bot.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you please go ahead.
They have a ton of CC. You look at the Malphite, like you're saying, with the knockup. They also have the Gragas. So it almost makes you want to see a Yasuo in this game to really capitalize on those knockups on the side of Gaius. You got the Malphite ultimate, and then into the Yasuo ultimate. Same thing with Gragas. There's definitely a lot of CC on there. Hopefully, the Misfortune and the Lucian can do their damage and utilize this CC that they picked into there.
Absolutely, yeah, and I love Misfortune, especially whenever you notice the team is picking a lot more squishy type champions, such as Zed, Kha'Zix, and Ashe. If you're able to lock them down with, say, like that Malphite and that Gragas, that Misfortune ult just kind of keeping them locked in there for that extra second and a half, deals so much damage to the entire team that could swing a team fight almost all on its own.
Certainly, I'm hoping to see Malphite taking maybe the teleport, and then Gragas, I believe he goes the Predator rune. And so if they can get something early rotation down to the bot side and get that Malphite ultimate to knock up the bot lane, get the Misfortune ultimate, and then swing things aside and kind of get misfortune to get more and more gold into there and maybe be their win condition. That's what I'm looking to see inside the Dias. I think that's probably one of their strongest ways to their win condition here.
Absolutely. All right, we got about 10 seconds before we run into this, and I'm actually going to take a short 5-second break real quick. So I'll leave this to you for a second.
Alrighty, no worries. Another thing that we're looking at here with Team Maxwell, they still got the Kha'Zix, they still got the Zed. They're going to be doing a lot of damage, similar to their previous game. They're going to be trying to shut down Dice as soon as they can, and then even if they maybe don't have that pressure as much as they would like to, they still have the Ornn, they still have the Ashe. They're going to be doing a whole bunch of damage the whole game. So definitely going to be a really good game here. All right, looks like Dias is going to be going for another early invade, going as 5. Maxwell doing the same. They're going to probably be meeting up here. Maxwell all waiting in the bush, preparing for the invade. Dias has been known to do this in the past, so they're definitely ready for it. Looks like Dias is sneaking past Maxwell, and they have not met up yet. Maxwell going in for an invade into Dias's jungle, completely missing each other. Looking like this is going to be the safest invade that there ever was.
All right,
looks like the teams were not happy with their current side of the map, and they wanted to be on the other side, and completely safe.
That's wonderful to come back to. That's pretty funny.
Maxwell is coming back to their side of the jungle. We'll see if this if they're gonna get caught out here. They just missed the CC ability. If they waited a second longer, they would have been able to get either Zed or Ashe. And looks to be a relatively safe invade. Nothing too out of the ordinary. They are going to be going down to a little bit of damage onto Zed. Nothing out of the ordinary.
As invade is a little more advantageous to Maxwell just because they are there. They're going to be able to pick that buff, whereas Gragas is already behind the current rotation, and we'll see what Kha'Zix can do with this.
Certainly. We can even see Gragas too. He is in Maxwell's vision. They know exactly where they are. Kha'Zix is going to go for an early invade and just try to shut down Gragas before the game even starts.
Absolutely, and it looks like Kha'Zix might be sitting there in the jungle, just letting Gragas get low.
And then the Zed's rotating. They already knew it was going to happen. Gragas just barely getting out. I could see if he was not quite as good of a jungler as he was. He's a really great jungler. That could have been a first blood right then and there. Oh, and then there goes the Gragas. Might be a first blood for Dias. Both ignites pop. The bot lane's rotated up. Let's see who's going to get first blood here, or is it going to be completely safe? Nope, Gragas with the CC ability. Lucian going in. Asian Flipside gets first blood taken on him. That gold is going to Zed, so that's going to be a really difficult lane with the Zed. He's going to have another longsword if he decides to go back now. Another fight going down. Kha'Zix gets another kill. They do get the Kha'Zix though.
Absolutely, and this is such a late invade. Kha'Zix taking advantage of him being able to secure his buff and going into the jungle. And again, this communication that these teams are doing, you saw both bot lanes coming up, both supports and ADC, and the mid lanes joining there in that team fight.
Looks like an early kill from Ornn onto Malphite. Barely gets out without taking the turret damage. Just absolute pressure just from the get-go. I believe the official term for what this game is looking like right now is a little bit of a clown fiesta with the invades. Just absolutely hectic.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is, again, this is where Dias, they need to hold their ground. They need to stalwart and just kind of defend against any type of the early game pressure that Maxwell's putting on
to the
against
mid lane, about to get a kill possibly onto Lucian. Are they going to secure the kill? Actually, a kill onto Zed. Not expecting that, but he does get taken down too. So an even trade with the jungler gank, really good play by Asian Flipside, by the Lucian, able to hold his own there.
Yeah, and you see that bot lane trade kind of going out there. His Fortune was able to deal just enough damage to kind of stay alive there at the end of that fight. Yeah, it looks like both these teams are putting everything on the line. They're really they're overextending, trying to secure that one last hit on their enemy champion. Just try to take advantage of being ganked or about to lose the fight.
Most definitely, both teams absolutely honed in. Everything, leaving everything on the table here, doing a great job. Looks like Matt Kha'Zix already has 2 kills. Once he clears his jungle and he uses that gold he has, he's going to be really dangerous for any of the lanes that are pushed up. The Malphite isn't really pushing up the lane too much, but if he keeps with the pressure he is, that Kha'Zix is going to come straight up there and could just get a ton of damage, even without the jungler there. Manadale doing a whole bunch of damage onto the Malphite.
Absolutely, yeah, and this is one of the things I was not expecting at all. I know Ornn does really well as far as damage goes out, but I was definitely expecting a more passive lane with Malphite and his shield basically waiting for that to regenerate. He did end up going Corrupting Pots, which means that he was wanting a little bit more of an aggressive type of play style.
Certainly, and with Ornn's ability to buy items in lane, does not have to go back. He's just going to be sitting in there as much as he likes to, and not letting unless Malphite backs, he's not going to be on the same playing field as Ornn.
Absolutely, and we can see that Malphite's already opted to use his use his teleport to get back in the lane there.
Looks like in the
given
mid
that
lane,
advantage over that Ornn.
Gragas might be looking for a gank on the Zed. Ooh, a ton of damage from the Zed onto Asian Flipside.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Zed, once he uses that shadow, he doesn't have any escape. And I think Gragas recognizes that he is going to try and counter that gank again. Whenever these players see that gank coming, they just all in hoping to secure a kill, and it's worked in everybody's favor pretty much so far.
Certainly, it looks like each of these ganks, both sides are getting a kill, and just excellent work on getting ganked and still being able to get something out of it. It looks like both the junglers are still in the mid lane.
Yeah, both just soaking up some of that additional experience. Don't want anything to go to waste.
Certainly, I know as a jungle main, sometimes the jungle creeps, if they're not up on the side that you're looking to farm, or you're not able to get all of them, or maybe one of your laner taxes your jungle a little bit, it is good to go into the lane, get a little bit of XP, get a little bit of CS that you weren't otherwise going to get while you're in the combat. Looks like we have the ultimate coming in from Ornn, and he lands it, does the damage, gets the kill. Great job from Manadale. Gragas is going to clean up, though. He is coming in with his getting the shutdown gold, 500 gold there to Gragas.
That's very big. This Poo-Poo Goblin's been doing really well on this Gragas so far. I'm definitely liking the way that he's playing him. Again, not seeing too many Gragases. You can see his ability to kind of animation cancel. He's been doing a lot of good trades. And then, yeah, just that good map awareness coming up and securing that kill in the top lane.
Looks like Kha'Zix doing the early dragon. He's not really pulling it out. I think that they have good vision control. His new Gragas was topside. Doesn't have to worry about that, and they're just going to get that first dragon mountain. Pretty decent for them. Really good for the Ornn pick. He's going to make a lot of use out of that. He's just going to be really, really tanky. Looks like the next dragon. Can we see what the next dragon is? Not quite yet.
It looks like it'll be an Ocean Drake.
Okay, that's another one that's pretty good, I'd say, for both teams. Both teams can make use of the tank stats. One of the things I'm noticing with this game, it's 8 minutes in. There's not really that same gold lead that we saw in the previous game from Maxwell. It's a little bit closer. They do have roughly a 1K, 1.5K gold lead, but at this point, I would say that's not so bad. In the bot lane, looks like Set is going to be doing some damage. Uses the ultimate, brings him back to the ADC, locking him down. He's also taking some damage, but he has a shield.
Yeah, once he goes in, though, he's got to be careful. He is up against two very strong laners.
He's got his TP coming in from the Ornn. gets the kill on a whole bunch of damage. Gragas does secure the kill onto the AD, hits him with the ultimate, just barely flashes out.
That was a very nice flash from that Ornn there. Basically, is helping him escape with that cask instead of pulling him back into that tower there.
That was definitely a great TP on the side of Maxwell. Ornn goes in, gets the kill, gets what they need, immediately gets out, doesn't overextend, doesn't allow the Dias to get anything back from that.
Absolutely. Dias is going to pick up some of the plates in the top lane. He might be able to secure 2 of those plates, giving him some of that gold. I would like to see Bandit Grimes playing a little bit safer up against that Ornn there. He is opting to go for that AD or that armor to prevent for the late game, whereas Ornn kind of doesn't really care too much about that. But this late game Malphite and this late game Ornn they're going to be very strong and pretty crucial to the team fighting capabilities of both these teams. And now, just as Ornn had that teleport advantage in that last fight, we will see Malphite with the teleport advantage for this next upcoming few minutes. So I would like to see how this Malphite utilizes that. Maybe Dice can get a deep ward and possibly get Malphite in here to get an ult off.
There comes the Gragas, doing a lot of damage on the Menadel. He's all the way up at Dias' tower, so he looks like he's probably not going to be able to get out. He might be able to get a kill, though. Nope, looks like both. Barely misses the kill. The Dias does get a kill. He was a little bit too far up there. He is really strong. He does have a lot of gold. However, when it comes to a 2v1, even when you're a little bit behind in the top lane on the side of Dias, you can still secure those kills. And that might bring Malphite back into the game mode. Looks like a double kill down bot lane too. A lot of gold going into their bot lane. This Ashe is going to be really big. As well as the Zed, he does have 4 kills. Overall gold lead, looking like it's about 1.5k. Still nothing too crazy, but they are getting plates on the bot side tower.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a very crucial roam for that Zed there. Trying to win that mid lane. I know there's been a lot of back and forth between the Lucian and that Zed, but coming down and getting that double kill in the bot lane, kind of getting that Ashe back into the game with her items.
Kha'Zix did kill that red buff, and he is looking for another fight. They are trying to get out. There's 3 on the blue side, 2 on the red side. They know that they're getting chased. Their allies aren't anywhere near. They're just trying to get in and get out, and they did secure it for Kha'Zix.
Yeah, you can see those trades in the mid lane there, that Zed versus that Lucian. Zed just going in and opting for a little bit of burst damage, making really good trades on his part. Lucian needs to be careful with how he's playing this. It does look like he's going for Tear of the Goddess, which is going to roll into possibly an Essence Reaver.
Certainly, the Manamune buy onto Lucian would be very strong. Definitely a spike into the mid game and a ton of damage. Although he is down 2 kills, he does have roughly equal farm. Lucian is going to be able to do a ton of damage. And also he's a rather mobile champion too. And it looks like up near the top side, they're getting a scuttle fight here, Malphite and Ornn. Nobody looks to be rotating. It looks like they will be getting the scuttle crab. On the bot side, there is a rotation going down. Zed and Kha'Zix fighting the top side.
Absolutely. There should be a kill on Ornn. Pretty easy. Absolutely.
Definitely. And that's one of those things too. It looks like Manadel, he's a very strong top laner, has a really strong Ornn. But when you get caught out like that, even though you did get what you're looking for with that Rift Scuttle, it's going to be tough in a 2v1. Looks like Dai is actually securing the dragon here too. That's also, like we were saying earlier, really good for the Gragas, really good for the Malphite. They're going to make really good use of them. Fight in the bot lane. Looks like Ashe is going to die, and then we're going to have Seraphine pretty low, gets ignited, Set taking damage, and he does not get out safely. So really good job on the side of Dice. They're closing up that gap a little bit. They do have a kill lead, and it actually might be in their favor here a little bit later into the game. They're going to have a really strong team fight.
Yeah, you can see them shutting down that early game pressure of Maxwell, which is one of the things we talked about. Maxwell is so strong in the early game, and they've been able to snowball most of their games this entire season into that mid and late game, winning pretty early. We're sitting at 14 minutes now, and it's almost neck and neck. And they need to start being cautious of this Gragas as well as this Malphite against this full AD comp, essentially. As this game continues to go on, this Malphite is going to become very strong and take almost little to no damage against this AD team.
That's right. We're not seeing the same pressure as we were seeing in the previous game. I'm interested to see how the 5v5s go. There's a lot of people in the mid lane right now. A lot of damage. Nothing quite there. They're just pushing up the lane a little bit. But it looks like Maxwell's rotating into the bot side jungle of Dias. And there's a fight in the top side jungle. Nope, looks like everybody's getting out safe. Nothing right here. They get vision on the Rift Scuttle or Rift Herald. You can see there's not really too much overextending going on right here. Pretty safe, no kills going down. Looks like they're both really, Dice is really trying to hang on and not make any mistakes, easy mistakes to miss here.
Absolutely. Both teams kind of opted for that early game late jungle invade that we saw. Essentially after that, there's been a lot of fighting going on, but I think they've kind of started to respect one another's damage in kind of rotations, that they are kind of backing off and they're not just going full war against one another.
Looks like we're going to see 4 in the mid lane right now. Gragas and the bot lane are both coming up. They might be trying to possibly make a push onto the mid tower.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the things that Gragas excels at is basically pulling someone out from underneath that tower.
Ornn gets the top tower, TP's in, gets ready for the fight. Does land the ultimate. Just doing tremendous damage. Looks like the Misfortune ultimate does not kill. Very close though. Set coming in with his ultimate, doing a ton of damage. Barely gets out alive. Absolutely to the T, calculated plays right there.
Absolutely. This Gragas is trying to run for his life. He's going to get slowed down by that Ashe.
Almost gets the kill there. Nope. He had to make a decision. It looks like he was going back and forth a little bit. I don't know if he had flash. Maybe he would have been able to do something. He did not have flash. And there's the Kha'Zix there, just absolutely taking all the farm, giving the Gragas no time to do anything. Once he dies one time, Kha'Zix going to shut down the jungle.
Absolutely, and Dice needs to be careful. I know they've been doing so good to kind of hold off. Maybe they felt that was the moment. They were getting that. They kind of had the advantage early in that gank, but the rotations from Maxwell were able to kind of turn that fight, and they ended up losing 4 to, I believe, 1. Kind of putting them behind a little bit on that fight. So hopefully they can recognize that Maxwell is definitely here to play. They have really good map awareness and kind of back off on some of these fights and don't overextend.
One of the things I'm noticing here too is there's really good vision control on both teams. It's only 17 minutes in, but it looks like just about everybody on both teams has over 10 vision scores. And they're doing a really good job, and they're rotating, coming into the bot side jungle. There might be a skirmish going on. Looks like they're just clearing vision, and nothing really does happen. Playing a little bit safe. That's another one of those things. When you have that vision control, you do avoid a lot of fights that aren't really high percentage that you will see in these higher elo, really well coordinated teams. Looks like there's maybe a fight going on in the mid lane. Jenga absolutely doing a ton of damage, does get caught out, gives the shutdown goal to Dias. I'm not sure if that was really that great of a trade for the side of Maxwell. He does get the kill, but at the cost of his shutdown gold.
Absolutely, and Zed being one of the champions that you want to keep in these later team fights that we see going on right now. We do see Gragas going into the back line. He is going to get taken down by that set. Dias looks like they're going to kind of be on the run. This Kha'Zix getting very low. But it does look like they're all going to back off, and this might be a dragon for Maxwell.
Yeah, with these Inferno Drakes, especially with the damage-heavy team that Maxwell has with the Zed, with the Kha'Zix, with the Ashe, these Inferno Drakes with the Inferno Soul, that's really huge for them. If when they secure this, it's going to be a huge dragon for them.
Absolutely, yeah. The remainder of these dragons are going to be those infernal drakes, applying that infernal buff, which is incredibly strong for all the team members here going forward. So they definitely want to make sure that they're trying to secure those as much as possible, because as the game goes on, the longer it goes, that 4% attack damage and ability power buff stacking is going to be extremely crucial in a lot of these team fights, especially when both of these teams are kind of running a high damage, less tanky kind of team comps.
Certainly, and as you can see here, Maxwell does have 3 towers over Dias right now, and Dias really isn't able to get past their first tier towers without risking a whole bunch. If I'm Dias, I'm trying to get as much vision in the top side as I can, but Maxwell also knows this. They're inside the top side jungle. They know Baron's up in 2 seconds, and they're just clearing everything they can, not letting them have a chance to get any objectives. And they are going to go for the Baron. They don't have vision. It's all cleared. And they're going to be able to probably sneak this out. If I'm Dias, I'm thinking Baron's up. They're probably going to take it. Maybe I should get a sweeper onto there. And they do. I don't know if they're going to contest it. They probably have to. Or if they risk having to just get suffocated by the pressure on all the lanes.
Absolutely. This is a very dangerous play for Maxwell here, especially going against that misfortune.
All the ultimates coming out, a ton of damage going on, but looks like they do clean up Dias' team a little bit. Malphite not there for the fight. I was kind of hoping to see maybe an ultimate come through and get additional CC to let Misfortune do more damage, but was not the case there. They did stop the Baron, but the fight was in favor of Maxwell a little bit. It was a 2-2.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Dias did not have any vision of that Baron, so they weren't sure how fast they needed to react. They unfortunately didn't give Malphite enough time to kind of get into that team fight. Whereas if they would have kind of recognized that Baron still had about half its life left, they had plenty of time to gather the team to come into that fight there. I think it would have been a lot more favorable to Dias.
Looks like they are Gragas is gonna clear the vision on the Baron, and just making sure they can't get it. Although they did just lose a team fight, the only thing worse than losing a team fight is to give the enemy team Baron. It's just gonna be tremendous. Every lane is gonna be pushed. You can see Orange on the bot side of the map, and the rest of the teams on the mid side. They're going to be pushing multiple lanes here.
Absolutely.
Orange doing some damage onto Lucian in the bot side, taking the Krugs. Lucian really can't do much to stop him. He's got over 3,000 health, Orange. He's just an absolute beast right now. And that's what we were saying. Although he was a little bit less pressure in the early game, that Warren, man, he's going to be a menace. There is a big fight going on in the bot side jungle. A whole bunch of damage. Banga is going to take down Seraphine. Set taking doing some CC on the Misfortune. They're going to try to get the Gragas. They do not quite secure the kill. Just barely gets out that Gragas. But Kozik's going in. He's saying he wants to kill. Fails to flash. Gets a little bit of damage onto him. Super Gobbler getting out of there safely. Looks like Malphite did some damage to the Ashe, gets the kill. Set, ulting the Malphite. And they turn it around onto Maxwell a little bit. Really good play by both teams, although it was a 2 for 3, but maybe this Malphite can make some plays here, get the set. He does flash, Malphite flashes also. And he gets the shutdown gold on the set. Really big for Dias. He does get killed afterwards. Just a bunch of gold going all over.
Yeah, so this is the power that we were talking about. Malphite just now buying his Bramble Vest, had only 2 items going into that fight, and he was able to sit there and kind of hold off against a Kha'Zix and a set, end up securing a kill on that set.
Just Ornn again doing a 2v1 right now. He might be able to get the Seraphine. He looks like he just about is. It's a 3v1 now, but Ornn just gets the kill, doesn't care. He has so much health going on.
He did have to use his flash, so he doesn't have anything to get away from this Gragas.
He does get the shutdown, but at this point, you're so far ahead as Ornn. You have 2 upgraded items. He has the Forward Fire Cape and the Infernal Mask. He's just so big, and he's, with the trade like that, gold for gold, I think it's more in favor of Ornn. It's going to get him more power spikes going in.
Yeah, I would be careful because, we do have a dragon coming up in about 12 seconds now. So they want to try and stay safe. Ornn's not going to be able to join this fight. It does look like Dias is slowly starting to make their rotation towards that. towards that dragon.
And that's right. Dias does know that they can't give this dragon up. They already do so much damage on the enemy team. They have to contest this. Ooh, looks like Zed's getting caught out a little bit. Goes for the ultimate, tries to blow up Asian Flipside. Isn't able to do that. They do kill him. And so now Maxwell's down a player, so they might not be able to secure this dragon like they would previously. Seraphine goes down a little bit out of position there. Kha'Zix gets in and gets out, just like an assassin would. Malphite in the middle of everything, does a lot of CC onto the enemy team. Set does his ultimate, does a lot of AoE damage. Whole bunch of damage going everywhere.
Yeah, Warren is rejoining the fight after resurrecting. Ash trying to lay out all kinds of damage. She is in the middle of that fight. She's going to end up going down to that Malphite.
Well, a whole bunch of damage going everywhere. This Malphite versus the Ornn and the Kha'Zix not looking too good from him. They're just waiting for the kill. Kha'Zix might be trying to get the gold.
Absolutely.
And the quadra kill. That Ornn, like we were saying, just an absolute menace. He's got 3 items at this point, and his boots fully upgraded. Getting the dragon now. He's just going to be 1v9ing at this point. 1v5ing, I should say. 1v5ing.
So Ornn was able to resurrect and come back into that fight. I thought he was going to be out for at least the full duration of that dragon. Unfortunately, Maxwell was able to kind of hold out, wait for that Ornn to come in. And as you saw, he ended up securing a quadra kill as everyone basically ignored him, trying to take out the rest of Maxwell.
Yeah, and they're even pushing the advantage too. Ornn not even going back. He's still going to be pushing in the bot lane, and the rest of the team's going to be in the top side jungle and Dias' jungle. And they're just going to be suffocated the team. At this point with a 7k gold lead, it's not looking so hot for Dias at this point. I'm not quite sure what they need to do. They know that the Ornn is just going to be in his own lane. You have to get somebody to match him, but looks like the Astral coming in does miss. And Seraphine getting caught up. She is going to die.
Yeah, Seraphine needs to be careful. We saw her get one shot earlier by that Kha'Zix just sitting in a bush. She went up to ward. Even with her team around, you don't want to be the first one to put your face inside a bush. And of course, team fights still going out all over the place. Set going ahead and using that stopwatch.
Malphite's going to get the kill onto Ashe, blowing up the ADC with the ultimate, and they're going to get the set too. Kind of turn it around there. They've gotten 3 kills there for the 2, looking in the favor of Dias. They are going to be doing another team fight here. They're 4-3. They have 2 tanks and their ADC. A ton of damage potential, although there is the really strong Ornn and the Kha'Zix. But looks like they're not interested in fighting. They're not sure if they're going to win it. Even though they're a little bit ahead, it was really smart play on the side of Maxwell.
Absolutely. Baron is still up. I mean, we have 4 members of Team Dias. They are needing to push out some of these waves, otherwise a Baron call would have been kind of beneficial. With both of the members kind of being alone by themselves. Ornn is getting very tanky, so that's something that they need to be careful of, but of course this Malphite, again, these are the 2 things that we talked about in that top lane. This Malphite and this Ornn are going to be very critical.
Ooh, the Astral does land. Does get damage onto the Malphite. He's not really able to do much. That's so much CC. Ornn knocks him up as well. Just a ton of damage. They were trying to get that first tier tower, just narrowly missed it, but now it looks like Team Maxwell's forming up as 5, and they're looking to try to make some plays here. Ornn knocks up the Seraphine again. She gets caught up. Misfortune does a ton of damage with her ultimate, but she does. They do end up doing a lot of damage, but that's Set. When he gets a lot of damage onto his shield, just absolutely turns around. Manadale does go down, give the shutdown gold. Just back and forth. Huge slugfest the entire game.
Absolutely, and yeah, that was a 2-for-3 trade in favor of Dias there. Again, this Malphite, that Ashe landing on that Malphite, a lot of resources being spent to get Malphite basically down to about half his life. He still kind of managed to escape out. They don't end up taking him down. There is damage going all over the place, and then again, that misfortune. We haven't seen too many good ults from that misfortune. Landing on 4 or 5 members of Maxwell, but just getting 2 there, you could see the amount of damage that it does whenever it's taken down an Ashe, a Set, or a Kha'Zix. So that's something that they need to be careful of. Again, this wombo combo that they have with this Malphite and this misfortune, if the communication improves for Dias going further into this game, that's something that could almost just completely melt Maxwell altogether.
Kha'Zix going out, sees the misfortune out of place, trying to farm on the bot lane. He says, no way. I'm going to go in, go out, do a lot of damage, and just be what a Kha'Zix player really wants to see. really good play on him. I know that Kha'Zix doesn't necessarily have the best team fights, but he is able to capitalize on the out-of-place AD carries. If I'm Dice, I don't let my AD carry go anywhere without at least a support. Ooh, the Malphite ultimate absolutely out of the blue. Secures a kill onto the Ashe. And it looks like they might be able to take down the set too. Dias is really kind of coming back here, and like we were saying earlier, they're catching out team members. They're doing a ton of damage to them. And now, at this point, it's becoming really close. Although they have 5 kills ahead and they're a little bit ahead on gold, the composition is just really, I think, in favor of Dias now. They weren't able to shut down the team early on the side of Maxwell. We'll see what they're able to do here.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, this Malphite just becoming nearly unkillable other than by Ornn. Ornn not dealing a whole lot of sustained damage, so once he takes that initial burst, he can kind of just walk away from it. But then again, they still need to be careful. He can't get caught out because any bit of damage is still damage.
It looks like they're focusing the Ornn a little bit, but he's just taking all the damage. He's fine with it. Miss Fortune trying to do damage, but wasn't able to do it. She gets taken down. Manadale soaking up a whole bunch of damage. And again, looks like a 2 for 2 there. This Malphite's really coming into the game. More damage going down. Double kill on the side for Asian flip side. He does get taken down though. Kha'Zix and Set going to take on the Malphite, but he does flash out. And they might be securing the Infernal Soul, which that's what they were really fighting over here. Once they get this, it's looking really good for Maxwell with their composition. We'll see what they do. Maybe they try to get the Baron after this. Maybe they try to press the advantage and go mid lane.
Yeah, it's a very strong dragon for that Infernal Soul there, going over to the side of Maxwell. Again, we talked about these Infernal Dragons. That's 12% attack damage and ability power buff. And now that they have that soul, even stronger. It's going to really improve the amount of kind of AoE damage they deal, kind of making up for that lack of magic damage, maybe helping that Ornn out a little bit. But again, we saw that Malphite goes in, does so much damage, even though he's building tanky. He just sits there and soaks up so much, and he's still able to get out after his entire team goes down around him.
Yeah, certainly. I think the stars of the show here, there's definitely the Malphite and definitely the Ornn. These top laners, really strong picks, and it's just been two tank tops that are just absolutely crushing the game here. Kha'Zix goes in, blows up Seraphine, does not actually get the kill though, and he's unable to get out because he did not get the takedown. Ashe getting the kill for Kha'Zix with her ultimate. And it looks like no kills are going to go down here. It was really close on the side of Maxwell. Ooh, the charm going on. A lot of damage on the Benga. He does get out. He's a very mobile champion. Fortune drops her ultimate. Not able to secure the kill though. And no deaths. Ornn taking the whole time to just get this bot tower and just take advantage of the ability of Maxwell to 4v5 in the mid lane.
Absolutely. And then again, this Miss Fortune ult, it didn't really get to deal too much damage to Maxwell. I'd like to see her maybe hold that just a little bit longer. I do understand that once you're kind of stationary, it's very dangerous, especially against these assassins. But I mean, that's why she has that Gragas, that's why she has the Seraphine, and that's why she has that Malphite. So she should be able to land most of that ult on a large portion of Maxwell's team and stay relatively safe.
Looks like another skirmish going on in the mid lane. Nothing too much. They're doing a little bit of poke damage when they can. Kha'Zix looks like he evolved his W, doing a lot of AoE. We'll see what ends up happening. There's still a slugfest going on in the bot lane. Just the two top laners duking it out, but the Ornn's a little bit more tanky, a lot more tanky than the Malphite. He does get the shutdown onto him, and it's going to go straight for the inhibitor. Wow, absolutely split up the team. Half the team needs to go try to contest the Baron, but they have the Ornn there by the inhibitor as well. Looks like it's going to be secured Baron for Maxwell.
Yeah, but again, this is one of the things that Maxwell has really excelled at this entire season, is just being able to rotate really well. We do see that Ashe arrow going down on the Gragas. Kha'Zix jumping over the wall, but it looks like Gragas is going to be able to get out. Sports trying to make her way back out of this fight. She's trying to go back in. I wouldn't turn on that Ornn though. Seraphine taking a massive amount of damage. The Morn front line is crazy. That Zed goes in and utilizes the ulti, tries to land it. She is going to end up taking out that Lucian there. They're fighting under the tower. Gragas is going to fall to the set.
I'm pretty sure that Ornn was under the tower for about 10 to 15 seconds, and he does not care at all. He just soaks it up. It looks like, does he have Warmogs? No, he doesn't. He does have Warmogs, and he's back to almost 3/4 of his health. He's just a force to be reckoned with. He just goes straight under the tower. He does not care at all. Malphite does the ultimate, does get the shutdown gold, but it's not going to be a big deal because that Ornn is just soaking up all the turret damage. Malphite's not really able to capitalize on all of this.
Absolutely. Malphite is a lot of damage, but of course his team fighting potential is where it really is. Further, he's kind of overextending here. He does need to kind of opt to go back. He is kind of pushing him away a little bit, possibly saving them the game. His team's coming out, but then again, he didn't need to extend as much as he did. He kind of needed to just kind of hold him off there.
That just goes to show you the prowess of Maxwell. I mean, he was overextending. He's by his inhibitor. He's in his own base. Maxwell doesn't let them even a step out of their front door. And the gold lead is a 10k gold lead at 35 minutes. 7 towers to 1. I mean, Maxwell's just taking their time. They're not doing anything crazy. They're going to secure this. They're looking to secure this win, and they're not making any mistakes.
Again, this is one of the things that I've spoken about repeatedly, right? Maxwell is so good with neutral objectives. The rotation capabilities are incredible. They're able to secure these neutral objectives. They take the Rift Heralds, they take the Dragons, and at the same time, they have somebody in a lane. They're pushing out these minions. And we're looking at it right now. All these lanes are still pushed up. They're still coming down. They're trying to battle it out. They're already rotating around this dragon, where Elder Dragon's coming up in a minute. They're just so good at rotating and securing these neutral objectives that a lot of teams underestimate the power of and the gold distributed between the team for these neutral objectives.
One of the things too I noticed that Maxwell does a really good job of. They know an objective comes up, and a minute 30 seconds before the objective is anywhere up, they have wards all in the jungle on the opposing team's side. So they are completely ready for any kind of invades, contests that go on. They're completely prepared, and they can secure every objective doing that. They have tremendous vision control.
Absolutely.
Guys not even able to leave their base.
Absolutely. They understand the power of this Elder Dragon. You can see it a minute before the dragon had even spawned. They've had the pink ward down. And like you said, they've got both entrances that are exits to the jungle already secured out. They've already pushed the mid and the bot lane out. And they've got two kind of members are already pushing top as well.
Looks like there's a fight going on in the bottom side jungle. He does take out the Seraphine, takes out another ADC, and then bam, they're just not able to contest anything at all. Lucian can't even contest it with them. He's trying to fight off the Ornn in the top lane. They're not even going to go for the Elder Dragon. They're just going to win the game.
Absolutely, yeah. They just took out 3 members of Dias. They see no need to take this Elder Dragon to help them win that next team fight. The team fight's basically already been won. Malphite already retreating from this Ornn, and yeah, they're just going to go ahead and push this tower down, and they should have no problem securing this victory.
Wow, absolutely phenomenal game. Great play on both teams. It was back and forth for the longest time. Really good showing out by Dias and Maxwell.
Yeah, that was an incredible showing from Maxwell. They are going to secure that best of 3 against Dias, knocking Dias into the losers bracket, where they will be playing against Whiteman for their tournament life. So this next best of 3 coming up is going to be Whiteman versus Dias. And the winner of that match will actually be coming back to fight Maxwell for the grand finals and securing this entire season.
Certainly, I'm excited to see what Whiteman has to show as well, because they have a similar strategy. They do come out with the early game picks and try to do a lot of damage early on, similar to Maxwell. we'll see how they do against Dice if Dice is able to turn the tides on them in this fight.
Absolutely, yeah. Whiteman's been doing a very good showing. Of course, being knocked down in the losers bracket by none other than Maxwell, and then of course making a great showing, winning both of their loser bracket matches and a good 2-0. So yeah, coming up against this Dias team, who is just now meeting the losers bracket themselves, is coming up against Whiteman. So I'm very curious to see how this game goes out, seeing what kind of practice both these teams have put in.
Yeah, definitely. You can just show how polished Maxwell is. Absolutely great showing.
All right, yep. So we'll take a quick break here while we get these next teams up and ready to go. Please stick around. We look forward to seeing what these teams have prepared for us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on! Ladies and gentlemen, come on! Ladies and gentlemen, come on!
All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. This is Rockazor. I'm here on the left side of these pictures, and with me is the POC / team captain from Barksdale, Citro. We're here to interview two of Dice's players. Actually, I believe it's their bot lane, Eccentric and Seraphine. Welcome, guys. How are we doing today?
Oh, doing
Thank
great.
you. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's our pleasure. So I just wanted to, slightly talk about the games that were just played. I know it's a big hurt to y'all hearts, but the great news is that no matter what happened in those games, y'all have a chance for revenge. Are we excited for that or no?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jack. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Rockasor. Revenge is such a strong word. Revenge kind of insinuates that we have feelings towards Maxwell, any
Sure,
kind of
sure.
feelings.
We
I have none.
don't. No.
There's a saying, you got to beat the best to be the best. And, right now they're the best, but it's because they beat us first and we were the best. So it's kind of, it's kind of a crazy thing. No revenge is needed, but we're here for the people. We're representing America, okay? And we're going to win for America. So keep the lookout for that.
And for
But
the
no
peop-
revenge, no revenge
Mhm.
for the people. We're the people's champs.
Yeah.
People's champs, revenge for win for America. Understood. We got a couple Captain Americas up in this call today. So sadly, due to technical difficulties, I wasn't really able to watch y'all games too much, except that last one. But I know Citro was able to catch a little bit of what happened there in the bot lane. I heard, a couple things were just like a little bit too much overstepping. Do y'all want to talk about that? Just a little bit. Just kind of say like, what kind of happened there in y'all bot lane? Because up until now, for this most part of the entire season, y'all have done a really great job of being a locked down bot lane for Dias. Y'all really helped them in their games by just not dying a lot, keeping it together, keeping it simple, and taking over the game slowly in progression.
We have been the best, haven't we, Shaq? But that first game we got dumpstered. I'll give it to them. They played pretty well.
That's true. I think we've done pretty solid. But I think we got to give it up to the top half of our map. I think our top, our mid, and our jungler have been really killing it lately. Kind of like how Maxwell's top has been killing it for them. It's kind of been a 1v5 against them. It's crazy. Menadil's out here, just his back must be hurting. I'm glad he played Ornn so he could build a back brace, to carry the team. It's been great. But I think we've been pretty solid. I think we have a lot of work, a lot of stuff to get through, but I think we've been doing good for this first season.
Yeah, we just had a couple off games.
We saw the top laner, Menadil, absolutely popping off. The Malphite as well, really crushing it there too. When you see the top laner for the enemy team, they were just getting stronger and stronger. What was kind of going through your guys' heads? Did you have a way to try to shut them down at any point? What was going on in your guys' game plan near the later stages of the game?
Honestly, we lost lanes so badly. It was really hard to do anything later into the game. Like, we didn't have much clear communication on what we were really going to do because it was so hard to crawl back from the deficit that we had.
I would say that you want to know what was going through my mind? Do you really want to know?
Let's hear it.
What was going through my mind every time I saw Ornn? You know what it was? It was fear. I was terrified. I was scared. He just kept building stuff. He just kept taking turret shots, and it was scary. It was like Michael Myers. It was like Jason. Freddy Krueger. It was terrifying. I know Halloween is over, but that was probably the scariest thing I've seen all year. In my life, I'm scared of the dark, and it was scarier than that. That's all I gotta say. So
it was like the triple XL versions of all those horror characters.
It was Freddy versus Jason versus Chucky versus versus Ornn. That's what it was. So it was fear. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Gotcha. Looking forward, assuming that you have the chance to play them again, do you think that the Ornn is going to be one of your guys' bans moving forward, or do you think you're going to maybe keep it towards some of the earlier game champions, or maybe like a Darius? What is your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, we've got lots up our sleeves.
Okay.
Maxwell's not even going to know what hit him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you got maybe some different comps coming out on the next games?
Yeah, possibly. I can't disclose too much information on that, though. It's classified.
We have a comp that the other teams don't know about yet. We haven't busted it out. It's called the Runaway comp. So what we're going to do is just avoid Maxwell as much as we can and just rotate them out while we take out their turrets and we just escape their team. So they won't know what hit them because we won't hit them. We'll just run. So I think that's probably the best decision at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a good plan, especially after watching that last game. So up next we have Dias versus Whiteman. Now, sadly, I didn't get to watch too much of Whiteman's play this season. I was usually commentating other games. Without giving too much information, of course, can't give it away to all of this enemy team. Kind of what is your thought process right now into this game
on Whiteman,
especially coming off of this this loss? You're a little bit on the bummer side of things. How are we going to pick it up? How are we going to get that train rolling again?
Yeah, Shaq, how are we going to rebound from this?
So it's funny that you mentioned that we might be, upset about that loss. I don't think that's the truth. See, what we've been doing as an actor and an author and an Air Force member is we've been creating a story for the people. Okay, so we lost in the very first game of the season. We got destroyed. Okay, dumpster trucked. And we went from the top to the bottom, and people say, you know what? Dias is gone. Dias is washed up. And then they were like, oh, here goes Dias and Maxwell again, right? And then we got dumpster trucked again, and people were like, dang, they really out here losing. But what we're doing is constructing a story of the underdog. And so that's what we're about to be. So Whiteman is just, they're a great team. They're a great team. I'm not scared of them. They're not like a horror movie to me. They're more like a kid's flick or like an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, they're like a side character.
You don't really want to watch it. You don't really want to watch it, but you just do because you have to get to the finals. To get to the end of the movie, you just kind of skip it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this little Adam Sandler movie. That's what's going to happen in between these two games, and I think it'll be great. And I think we're going to do our best. We're not going to take it easy on them. We're not going to underestimate them.
Of course not.
But we have a secret weapon, which is our mid laner,
Carl.
Asian flip side, Carl. Okay, we haven't let him bust out yet. We've been holding him back, so he's about to pop off, and that's our strategy. Asian flip side.
Yep.
All right, that's great news, guys. One final question before we wrap this Dias interview up. So you got 2 games to win against Whiteman, and that's going to bring you right back to playing these people that you just lost to. What is your strategy for Maxwell? I know we harped on a little bit. I know you said you got that one comp no one's ever seen. It sounds like it's the little girl comp running from a white band, but that can only work for probably one game. You got one more to win on them to take this championship. How are you going to do it? You just, even from your own mouths, y'all got stomped on. What's you're not the rest of your team. You are Dias's bot lane. What is your plans to not do this again?
We're gonna start trying.
Yeah.
Because we're just doing this for the story, as Shaq was saying earlier. And
if that doesn't work, we plan on begging. We're not beneath that. We will get on our hands and knees and just beg for Maxwell to give us one win. We're not below anything when it comes to winning. Where I think
we'll do whatever it takes.
We are the most desperate team out there. Desperate, thirsty, hungry, homeless. That's what we are. And we need this win and this money at the end to get a home. So I think we'll do anything to get that.
So honestly, if Maxwell beats us, they're just bad guys.
People.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're terrible people who are just not letting a homeless group of 5 find their home.
They're tyrants. They're tyrants.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the interview, guys. It was such an enjoyment.
It was fun.
Up next, in just probably 1 to 2 minutes, we'll have Binga from Maxwell, as well as Pushak, which is Manadil, which is the Maxwell top lane, coming in to finish off these interviews. So just give us 2 minutes to set that up. All right, folks, welcome back. Again, I am Rockazor. With me today is Citro, the POC/team captain from Barksdale. In this call, I have Binga and Manadel from Maxwell to talk about their games today and their plan for this next set of games that they have to take this championship of the Air Force League of Legends. Now, welcome, guys. Say hi.
Thanks. Hello.
Appreciate it.
So, looking at your guys' games, the first game, you really had a great job of putting a lot of early pressure on, making them kind of not able to do too much. But in that second game, it wasn't quite the same pressure that we saw. Do you guys care to speak about that a little bit? Do you think something didn't quite go as you planned, or was that kind of the plan with the Orin, kind of let them scale up a little bit?
So I think with our second round of drafting, we kind of made a mistake. We were actually looking at picking something else, and we kind of like last second made the decision to pick the Orin. I think we just kind of got out drafted in the second game. I think the first game felt a lot more like a solid draft, like what we typically go for, but no, it tends to just change. And I think the Pantheon ban threw us off guard. What do you say, Bingo?
I agree 100%. Like, I think we got a little outdrafted. I think I said it before the game even started. We were all like a little bit disappointed with how we drafted that game. We were like, we want the Malphite ourselves, and then it turns out they get the Malphite. We wanted Lucian. We had an idea that they would pick Lucian, and we had a plan around it. But overall, great draft from them, and they've got great drafts, especially compared to the rest of the teams in this league. So gave us a run for our money there.
Definitely. And it looked like that Warren pick, it might have been maybe, as you were saying, not exactly what you were looking for, but by the time it got to the end game, top laner Orin just going into the towers, not even worrying about any damage, just absolutely nuts. So you're saying that maybe in another game you would have probably picked the Malphite before they did?
I think the Malphite pick was fine. I think we were actually looking for the Mordekaiser pick in the second round, banned the Mord. And
Gotcha.
so with the Malphite being picked, that was really the only pick I had left.
So looking forward into the next game, assuming you guys are going to be playing Dice here again, if you do, is your draft going to be looking similar to now? I know you guys tend to do these early game, suffocate the enemy team, really oppressive AD comps. Is your guys' team strategy going to be similar, or are you going to maybe throw us all for a bit of a loop in the next games?
I'll take this one. So yeah, I think some teams need to realize that just because we play like a similar comp, like doesn't mean you can just ban like one certain person out. I think we proved that multiple times now, and we're just gonna keep rolling it the same way we do with the same side of the champions until it doesn't work anymore. We're gonna ride till the wheels fall off. I don't want to assume Dice is going to be coming back to the grand finals. I feel like there's been a little bit of disrespect towards the other teams. I mean, this is more than just two teams in this competition, so we'll wait for the results of the losers bracket, and we'll go from there.
Certainly, we don't know until we get there, and so definitely appreciating the respect to all the teams. That's really good sportsmanship on your guys' part.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about that actually game that's about to be played. This best out of three between Whiteman and Dias. What is Maxwell's preference? What team do they want to see in this championship game? Do they want to hopefully, in their eyes, re-stomp Dias, or just see what Whiteman has to offer against their team comps?
Little bait here, I see. You can take the bait, Rushak. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think we're down for either one. We really just prioritize, macro and team synergy, and I think that's been working for us regardless of who we play. I don't really have a preference.
Then we have a lot of fun playing together. Like all of our
Yeah, I
guys
agree.
get along really well. Except our jungler, he's kind of the odd one out. Like we don't really like that guy, but he does a good job. He went like 13-1. No one mentioned that the last game. He had like a 20 KDA on Kha'Zix. He held his own pretty well there, so I got to give him props for that.
As a Kazakhs man, I definitely, I watched the last game once I fixed my technical difficulties, and I definitely, I was looking at it, I was like, hey, you really don't. So Kazakhs, for those who don't know, every time he levels up his R at 6, 11, and 16, he can evolve one of his four abilities. I usually go REQ. It's my preference, but he actually went what looked probably QEW or something, but
Yeah,
that's
he
what
goes
that's what he had.
RQ or RWE. Or sorry, he doesn't get E.
Really? Okay. Well, this game, it looked like I'd seen the big wings. My eyes might have been busted. But yeah, like that was definitely I enjoyed seeing another Kazakhs out there. He definitely played it very well. Played that champion very well, getting that 13-1. But let's be honest, not back talking him, just from a Kazakhs main. That's definitely something that's natural to see for a good Kazakhs player. I mean, he just has a great kit, probably best champion out there, but that's okay. But yeah, moving forward, you know, what if y'all win the championship? What's going to be happening? Are y'all going to say we're one and done, or are y'all going to look to carry on that title, give them that second, that third season win?
In the off season, there's like, as we all know, the preseason has some crazy changes happening next week. They'll be happening, I think, on Wednesday. Um, to be honest, I don't know what our plan is. I'd imagine we're just going to keep playing and try to adjust to the changes. I'm like I said, I
Yeah, I
enjoy
think
playing with
most
these
of us
guys.
plan on
So
playing.
yeah, I have
So
fun playing, like win or lose. I mean, we haven't lost yet, to be honest, but I have fun.
Have fun. That's
speaking
that
of
event.
the future changes that are going to be made, possibly season 2 and 3, do you guys have any opinions on the changes that they're making? It looks like a complete item overhaul. Do you think it's good, bad for the game?
Can
What
we
are your
propose
opinions?
a ban for an item? Like, is there a ban phase for items now? Because like, I don't want to play against Darius with Duskblade. I just don't want to.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it, but like just watching like assassins getting shields and like going like or like getting camouflage or stealth and then getting executes all from one item. I'm not a big fan of what I've seen so far, but again, I'll just wait for it to come and try to adjust on the fly.
Certainly.
Absolutely. Y'all definitely have done a really great job this season, of course, without any losses. I mean, according to standings at this time, according to me, of course, y'all, you are secured in the champion seat. That, by technicality standards, y'all are the best team out there. Do y'all 100% agree with that? According to these records that we have? Or what team do y'all think actually, what team in your eyes scares y'all the most
Tinker.
throughout this entire league?
Tinker, because no one ever gave J Boy a Shaco. I'm pretty sure if someone gave J Boy a Shaco, he would have swept the whole series.
Hmm.
That team is
So,
nuts.
so Tinker is
Yep,
team y'all.
Tinker. Tinker, if you're
Shaco,
listening, Tinker, if you're listening, you guys are insane. You guys are crazy.
okay. Understood. Scared of that, legit crazy Shaco. I mean, the dude basically comes from asylum. Looks like we got some questions from the viewers. Why are y'all so comfortable in these full 80 comps? You're comfortable in them when most people are worried that the enemy teams would be like, awesome, build straight armor, you deal no damage, right, across the board. So, why are y'all so comfortable with them? Why do y'all want them rather than 3 AD, 2 AP, 4 AD, 1 AP kind of setup?
I personally think it comes down to the like early mid game aggression that they're allowed to press. Like I think with the synergies that the jungle and mid have, they're able to press leads pretty much quicker than you can build armor. And I think at that point, having an AD comp doesn't really matter. Typically, we pick things to counteract that, like percent damage and things like that. Like I said, like with the Ornn pick into Malphite, like it just like yeah, he dives our team, but it's pretty hard to ignore the Ornn, and it's just like things like that that allow us to keep up into the late game. I think like heavy stacking armor teams are that efficient in the early mid game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. We just go for their mostly early game champions. Sometimes, I'll pull out like a Vlad or something like that. Um, but for the most part, we're just looking to press the leads that we usually get. And the strategy has worked so far. I mean, once it doesn't work anymore, we can try something else out. But as for right now, we can afford to be comfortable because we haven't lost with it. So we're just going to keep running it.
Absolutely. So, speaking of this, let's go on this tangent a little bit. You say, we're gonna run it till it stops working. I mean, I assume y'all have a backup plan, y'all have a backup comp, or y'all just gonna once y'all realize it's not working and you're just on the fly, you'll have some stuff in your back pocket there to throw out,
I
or
mean,
you're
I
just gonna
think
do it on the
every
fly.
team should. I mean, honestly speaking, if you want to be competitive, we can't just roll off the one trick comps, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but all of us have pretty solid champion pools. And then another thing that we haven't had to do on this team is that most of us are comfortable with swapping lanes. We almost swap lanes in one of these last games that we played. So we can adjust on the fly and move people where they need to go and put them on champions that they might be comfortable with. So I don't think we'll have any problems adjusting if we do have to go to a backup plan.
So yeah, you're Absolutely, yeah. So you're okay with, whether it is back at the plans or, just gonna attempt to try. Would you actually, I want to ask that, would you, even if you lose one game, would you try again with maybe a different champ, with a different, champ pick?
I think it depends how the game goes.
Hmm.
Depends what goes wrong. I feel like we're pretty reactive in that situation.
So I have another question too. With you guys being the most dominant team uh, in the league right now, what does your guys' practice look like? Do you guys practice frequently? Do you guys take the time in the week to prepare, or is it mostly just solo queue when you guys have the time to do it and just work on your individual skills?
So we actually played in a local Montgomery league before this. I think 4 of the 5 players played together. So we had a bit of experience coming from that. At that time, we were kind of practicing like once or sometimes twice a week for a while, just because we were a new team and things like that. But now that we've kind of like synergized and assessed the stage here, we play probably like once or twice a week still, but it's not like organized, right, Bingo?
Right, and we're all on different schedules too, so it's really
Yeah.
difficult for us to scrim and practice, and so we usually just try to get like a few games in, like maybe a day or two before the weekend, and then we just ride that into the weekend.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you guys do have, when you can, some practices, and um, most of the other times because of different schedules, just like with a lot of the other bases. It sounds like a little bit of solo queue going on. But definitely it seems to work for you guys. Obviously it has. You guys have been dominant the entire time. I know you were saying with Tinker, with that Shaco pick, that they were also a really dangerous team. Do you think that there is another team, any other notable teams that maybe you would say to watch out for in season 2?
Mm, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about things in season 2. We still have to adjust to all the massive amount of changes that are going to be happening, and then the news that was broke yesterday from LT about maybe another league. So there's really no telling what the next season holds, and then I mean we're just gonna take it like game at a time, right? So
Take it step by step. I think that's a great view to have. I think that's a great view for every team to adopt as well. Not that like that's a top view out there, but definitely just being able to take it step by step, being flexible, especially in this upcoming season with all these changes that we're hearing about on the backside of things. Sadly, that's our time slot for the day for this interview. Thank you once again, Binga and Manadale, for showing up and doing this interview with us. I know we appreciate it, and I'm sure that the viewers appreciate it as well, being able to get inside the minds of the players that they just watched dominate.
no problem. Shout out Foves, you suck, bro.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, y'all take care. Y'all have a great one.
Thanks, bye.
All right, folks, y'all heard it here from us. Y'all heard it here from them. They don't care who they play. They're just excited to play. They're happy to play in this game.
All right, welcome back. Unfortunately, we do have some issues with one of the teams currently, so we are going to have to shut down the stream for just a little bit of time. We're looking at about 30 minutes to an hour, so we're going to probably start the stream back up around 4:30, where we'll be playing Dias versus Whiteman in this losers finals, determining who will actually compete against Maxwell in the grand finals of this season. So please, if you would all join us back at 4:30 today. We will have the teams ready to go, and we will commence the finals for the losers bracket. Again, Dias versus Whiteman. So we look forward to seeing you all back around that time.